Welcome to Caskets and Cocktails, Memoirs of a Cemetery Dude. Get ready for a hilarious dive into the world of death care where cemetery industry veteran Mr. Danny and his daughter Katie will answer all those crazy questions you've been dying to ask. Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, pull up a rocking chair, and get ready for some laughs because we guarantee Caskets and Cocktails will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey guys, Katie Leverett.
I'm Danny Faulkner. I'm her daddy.
And this is Caskets and Cocktails. And we're getting tickled because Dad was telling me jokes and he had one more to tell me. And he promises it wasn't dirty.
It's not that dirty.
Okay.
There's this guy that walks into a bar and he asks for a glass of 12-year-old scotch. And the bartender looks at him. He said, this guy doesn't know the difference. So he pours him a glass and the guy drinks it and he says, he spits it out. He says, it's awful. It's 9-year-old scotch. It's terrible. So the guy looks at the bottle. It is 9-year-old scotch. So he pours him another glass. He said, that was lucky. So he hands it to him. He spits it out. He said, that was worse than the other one. He said, that's 10-year-old scotch. He looks at it. He said, it is 10-year-old scotch. He said, this guy knows what he's talking about. So he pours him a glass. He tastes it. He said, my God, that's delicious. That is exactly what I was wanting. There was a bar at the end of a drunk at the end of the bar, and he comes down with a glass and hands it to him. He said, here, taste this. So he tastes it, and he spits it out. And he said, that tastes like piss.
Oh, my gosh.
And he said, it is. Now, how old am I?
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, it's corny.
Yeah, it's corny.
It's an old man joke.
Hey, you're an old man.
Yeah, hey, watch your mouth.
Well, guys, we are really, I'm getting tickled. We are really excited about today's episode.
The more cocktails we have, the harder it is to keep this car on the road.
That's true. But we have the girls from Creep It Real on today, and their podcast is so awesome.
It really is good.
Yeah, and I love following, I know you don't do social media, but I love following them on social media. They have really, really good posts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so we are going to play their preview at the end of our show, and they have some specific things to talk about with our audience, and I just love them. They're awesome.
Yeah,
we were on their show a couple of weeks ago.
I remember.
And we talked about worst nightmares.
Yeah?
And you kind of hit on one of mine a little bit.
What?
In that joke. I'm taking it a little personal. The drink and pee.
Ooh.
That's gross. That's a worst nightmare, right?
You've ever thought that?
Well, I mean, don't you
I can't think of a situation where I'm in that I would do that.
Did you ever have, like, you never were a waiter in college or anything, were you?
Well, what are you telling me? What waiters
Well, I'm
do
just
in
saying,
my
when
glass?
I waited in college, some stuff went down.
Really?
So I've had
they did that in my drink?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh my God!
I mean, you're a pretty nice guy, probably not.
Nightmare.
No, it's your worst nightmare too.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to know what our worst nightmares were. So mine's kind of having like gross stuff done to my food or to my drink and me not knowing about it.
Wow.
Have you ever had like a worst nightmare experience? I know. Tell our audience what you told the ladies over Crib It Real. What keeps you up at night?
Sardines and sauerkraut. That's about the only thing that keeps me up. I'm like Gomer Pyle. I start snoring as my head starts towards the pillow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing keeps me up at night.
And I think when you're in the cemetery industry, too, you're kind of a little bit immune to scary stuff.
Well, you try your best not to be jaded. And being in the cemetery business, there are certain age groups that have always gotten to me. When you guys were babies, and I had to bury a baby.
Oof.
When you guys were adolescents, and I had to bury an adolescent.
Yeah.
Teenagers, and so on. And now, early 30s, young people like you.
Yes. I like how you said I was in my early 30s.
Yeah, I thought I was giving you a fun with it. They get me.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, of course, that's every parent's most horrible nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Something happened to their children. I know that a lot of times people think that being caught in a grave would be a horrible nightmare.
Oh my God. The being buried alive. I didn't even remember that nightmare, but now I'm not sleeping tonight. Thanks.
Well, years ago, I owned 4 cemeteries, and I always checked every single grave that was dug.
Okay.
Every single grave, no matter which cemetery.
Why?
I just wanted
to make sure.
Just want to make sure they're right. Want to make sure they're ready. I don't want any mistakes. Mm-hmm. And back then I wore suits. Uh-huh. Instead of now I wear khakis and a sport coat. Uh-huh. But back then I wore suits. Uh-huh. And I went up to check a grave one time, and I had my hands in my front pockets.
Right.
And I was looking into the grave, getting an idea of the depth and, how the sides looked and all this sort of stuff. And the ground underneath my feet gave way. And I fell face forward.
Oh, my God.
Grave.
Oh, my God.
And I was trying my best to pull my hands out of my pockets to block my fall, and I couldn't. And I hit, whoop, face forward down at the bottom of this grave. I thought I broke my nose, but I didn't. And it was bleeding, but I didn't. And my mouth was bleeding. I was skinned all to pieces.
You were in the grave.
Oh, yeah, I was in the grave. And I'd ripped the pockets out of my suit pants.
Oh, my God.
and the guys just, for what crazy reason, thought it was hilarious.
Oh, my gosh.
And they were all laughing.
Were they laughing before they knew you were still alive? I mean, the fall like that could really,
No, they waited for me to get up.
Oh, okay.
And then they started laughing. And, of course, I was still...
I might have, too.
I was still bleeding, And
were you laughing or no?
No.
You didn't think that was real funny?
I didn't think it was funny worth a damn. Mm-hmm. But I climbed out of the grave and stumbled to my feet, and the head groundsman looked at me and he said, "So how did the grave look?" If I didn't need him, I'd have fired him.
Yeah.
But
oh my gosh.
But that's it's no fun for that to happen. I just want to tell you.
Yeah, that is 100% nightmarish.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That freaks me out.
Now, I had a friend of mine who owned Montgomery Memorial Gardens.
Ooh.
And that's where Hank Williams is buried.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and he was doing a burial.
Is it a family tradition there?
It is. It is. Everybody's dead there.
I know.
But there's a lady, kind of a large lady, who was really regretful of her husband's demise.
Okay.
So she threw herself on the casket, crying about Elmer or whatever his name was. And when she did, her feet went under the lowering device.
Oh my God!
And she went zoop right down into the
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody. And she was halfway in and halfway out.
Oh my God!
And everybody grabbed a hold of her and pulled her back up.
Like people at the funeral, or the people that worked there?
No, the people at the funeral and the people that worked there, and everybody's grabbing her.
Oh my God!
And pulled her back up, and her shins were skint from her feet to her knees.
Ouch.
So anyway, she winds, and people for whatever reason they think if you own a cemetery that you're rich. Well, I've got news for you. We're not. And so, anyway, she sues this guy. Mm-hmm. And it goes to court.
Wait, hold on. So she sues him for throwing her own body onto a casket and then slipping through the crack.
Yep, exactly. Oh, my Lord. And so...
I'm glad she wasn't holding hot coffee from McDonald's.
Yeah, she won.
Stop it.
Yeah.
How in the world?
They awarded her $500,000.
Oh, my God. Hashtag tort reform.
My buddy gets up, stands up, pulls the keys to the office out of his pocket, pitches them over there to her and says, "You're in the cemetery business now," and turns around and walks out.
Oh my God, what?
And the judge is hammering the podium, saying, "Come back here, and all this stuff. And of course her lawyer was going, come here.
Yeah.
He didn't want that either. So he went off somewhere for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh my God.
And
he was pissed.
Oh, huge.
I would be too. That's the craziest thing I think I ever heard.
Yeah. And so the lawyer finally got in touch with her, or he answered the lawyer's call, and they settled the thing for like $8,000.
Okay.
But it's still $8,000 is still stupid.
She threw herself on there.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Put like yellow caution tape around
You're
it
not
now?
supposed to let anybody near it.
How do you do that? If
know.
somebody is linebacker in charge in that casket, I just step to the side. Like, my chiropractic bills aren't worth stopping this lady.
You're right.
You know?
She's on.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, that's just universal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, or
around open holes.
Nightmares happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet is a comedy podcast featuring brother and sister duo Alex and Christina as they recap dramatic readings of 1-star reviews written by real people with not so real problems. Whether it's a bar's no throw-up policy, a barista who's just too friendly, or a school psychologist's fashion sense, prepare for equal amounts of laughter and eye-rolling. Listen to Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can also find them on all social media platforms at Beach Too Sandy. Well, just to keep the vibe going on kind of boozy things, we actually had a email come in, and it kind of relates to what you talked about earlier. So Noah in Toronto wants to know if there have ever been incidences at the cemetery where you've had to call the police.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier that you've had to call the police, but you didn't tell us a story. Me and Noah want to know.
Well, just off the top of my head, there's 2 stories about calling the police. One, family, it was a upscale looking family. You know, they were all dressed nice cars and all this kind of stuff. And they were just finishing up the service. Mm-hmm. And the way the cars were parked, it was a single line that circled around and came out. But it was, it was like a snake line looking thing. And about the time everybody's headed to their cars, here comes, you remember I was talking earlier about Uncle Junior?
Yeah.
Here comes Uncle Junior.
Okay.
And he's in a rattle trap, and he comes up and slams on brakes and started cussing. And he was cussing them because...
For what?
Well, because the service wasn't supposed to be till 2, and they had it at 1.
Oh. Ooh, and he missed it.
Well, the truth is the service was supposed to be at 1, and he just showed up at 2.
Oh, no.
And
Oops.
he kind of felt like that they should have held the service for him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And, but, they went ahead and did it without Uncle Junior, or whatever his name was. And he shows up, and he's drunk as a 3-eyed mule.
Oh,
I mean, he's drunk.
No.
And he's cussing them, and he's cussing his brother, and he's cussing his sister-in-law. And then he starts cussing his sister. And I had my guys standing there just in case.
Right.
He was going to try to do something stupid. And I told the funeral director, and this is right when cell phones were out. And he had one of these bag phones. I called the funeral director. I told the funeral director, I said, call the cops right now. Right now.
Oh, you saw it coming.
Yeah. And so Uncle Junior starts going towards the brother. And I told my guys, I said, stop him. So they...
The hype man once again over here.
Exactly. And so I told them, stop him. So they got in between them and was trying to hold him off. And fortunately, in about 5 minutes or so, we're trying to calm the whole situation down. The cops come up, and this is something you just don't do.
Okay.
You just don't do it under any circumstance, whether you're drunk or you're sober.
Yeah, okay.
You don't turn your venom on a cop.
Oh yeah, that's never a good call.
That's never
I
a
don't
good
know.
idea.
I don't know a lot about that kind of thing, but I do know not to do that.
But this was back when cops had these long sticks, and Uncle Junior was cussing the cop at this point, you know. And the cop was trying to calm him down, and we were trying to hold him, and he was squirming and all this stuff. And the cop, he was a younger kind of cop, but evidently he had been around. And he walked over and he hit Uncle Junior on the shin with that stick, and Uncle Junior
Oh my
hit
God,
the
that
ground.
makes me want to throw
Boom.
up. Oh.
And when he hit the ground, the cop just rolled him over, handcuffed him, and he said, would you boys mind helping me pick him up?
Oh my God.
So we picked him up, and he put Uncle Junior in the back of the squad car, and away he went.
Oh my gosh.
Not to be seen.
Can you even imagine that pain? I mean, I know that I've bumped my shin on the coffee table, and I
you
throw
died.
up in your mouth. It hurts so bad. I cannot even imagine.
He just reached down just as calm as could be and just whacked him right on the shin.
God. Oh.
And down he went. Now, of course, now Uncle Junior would sue the cop. And the cop would get
you can't do all that.
You know, hit on half of the town.
That's definitely frowned upon now.
But anyway, that was one. Now, there was another one where the cops were involved, but it wasn't drunks involved. But this old boy, well, kind of.
Kind of drunks.
Kind of. He had a real bad habit of going out and getting drunk and coming home and beating the hell out of his old lady.
Oh, that is not a nice thing to do.
No, it was
being somebody's old lady now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be cool with that.
No. And and as it turns out, she wasn't either.
Oh, okay.
And she was washing dishes, and he came up behind her and got her in a chokehold or something.
Oh, Jesus.
And so she just reaches up, gets a butcher knife, and sticks it straight behind her, cuts his femoral artery, and he lays there on the ground and bleeds to death.
Oh, I mean, I kind of feel... No, I don't feel so sad. I think he deserved it.
He did. He deserved
yes.
Well, his family...
That's not nice to say.
His family didn't think so.
Oh, his family was like...
Oh, they were pissed. And the police arrested the old gal. And they took her in, questioning, all this sort of stuff. And she was waiting for a parole hearing or bail hearing or whatever it is that they do. I don't know. Thankfully.
Yes. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And so she finally got a bail. And 2 highway patrol cars bring her to the burial.
Stop it.
Yeah. And you talk about tension.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. And so she gets out of the patrol car, and she's surrounded by highway patrolmen.
Oh, my gosh.
And the one thing I've learned in my life, highway patrolmen do not play.
I don't even know what they do. I thought they just gave you a ticket on the interstate.
Oh, they don't play.
Okay.
You don't push
a highway.
Mess. No, you don't push a highway patrolman.
I imagine they're kind of like Mounties in Canada, like where Noah's from.
Yeah, exactly. But they just don't have a very good sense of humor when interfering with their job is concerned. And so they come up and they're surrounding this woman, and there's this dead guy on the lowering device, and somehow or other you found a preacher. Now I don't know how you find a preacher to preach on a guy that's got a habit of coming in drunk and beating the hell out of his old lady. Yeah. But they found one.
Yeah.
And so this preacher...
I wonder if he knew.
I don't know. And so the family members, this boy's family members, started kind of milling, easing up and sitting back down and getting up and getting back down and mumbling.
That sounds shifty.
Yeah, it's a high kind of a rumble, kind of blah, 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 blah. And I was standing right there, and I thought the best place for me to be, those big steel legs on those rolling tents in cemeteries.
Yeah.
Well, the best place for me to be would be right beside one of those.
Why?
Because if something starts throwing, I can kind of hide behind it, and not get hit by a chair.
I mean, we know they can stab. They'll stab somebody in a heartbeat.
I've seen WWE.
Okay. Yeah, like a chair. Yeah.
So
a ladder cage match.
Yeah. And so as soon as that preacher said amen, she took a step like she was going towards the casket. And
the wife?
Yeah.
Slash murdery wife?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
So the Mounties, they picked her up and literally carried her back to the car, pitched her in the back seat, and took off like 2 rocket ships.
Oh, my God.
And right behind them, all those guys were running to their cars and trucks and everything.
Stop it.
And they were chasing the highway patrolman down the road. Now, they got away.
That is like mob mentality. Yeah. That is so scary.
Well, it's eye for an eye.
Yeah.
You kill mine, I kill yours. And so they got away, and they got her back to jailhouse or whatever. And God bless her heart, I don't know what became of her because they let her off in self-defense.
Well,
and they let her free.
And then all those scary family members are out there just lurking around.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know
she's
what
probably
happened.
safer in jail.
Yeah, she's probably no longer with us.
God bless her. That's a horrible. I mean, that's just like stuff nightmares are made of.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But that was a rough scene.
Ooh, I tell you what, that's pretty nasty right there, and I don't even know really what to say about that. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you got some tales, Daddy. You got some tales.
Well,
I bet you're like a bartender's favorite customer when you come in because they're like, what is he going to tell me next?
Yeah, it doesn't ever give me enough to get free drinks.
Oh, yeah.
They still charge me.
They still charge you. Dang.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that special story.
Yeah.
Where the guy says, oh, man, here's a drink and here's $5.
Hey, maybe you could start just giving the bartender a Caskets and Cocktails card and just get up and walk away like you're famous or something. I heard famous people do that. They just leave.
Yeah, and they'd arrest me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And being an old white man in prison, I don't think that would be too cool.
I don't think he'd last long.
No.
Not unless you go to like federal penance.
Even though I'm just extremely strong and tough and virile.
Oh yeah, we are really learning about how strong and tough you are.
Yeah.
I bet you could like talk people into doing stuff though.
Yeah, let's take over this joint.
Yeah. Well, I think this was a pretty nightmarish episode, huh?
Well, yeah. Depending on where you are in life, that could be pretty nightmarish.
Yeah, falling in holes.
Yeah.
Stabbing your husband. Getting hit in the shins.
Oh, that's the worst.
Ugh.
I'd rather fall in a hole and get hit in the shins.
I might too, actually. I never would have thought. I don't want either, I'll be honest.
Me neither.
If it's my choice, I prefer just to be okay.
If I get a vote, I vote neither one.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, good.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your support. Each week we are growing and growing. Be sure to follow us on social media at Caskets and Cocktails on Facebook and on Instagram. And then on Twitter, we're Casket and Cocktail, no plural. So also, we love getting your emails, getting your voicemails. So please email us or call us. All the information is in the description of the show. If you listen to our podcast, you cannot tell me that you don't have a question. I agree. Why don't you just email us a question? Or if you're on Anchor, just
call in and leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on, guys. What does that take, a minute?
I know. It's the best.
Yeah.
We love getting the voicemails. It's our most favorite because we love hearing from you.
Yeah, you're the guys that make this show possible.
Yeah, and after the show, after we kind of wrap up, I want you all to hang on and listen to the Creep It Real ladies. Their podcast is awesome. You'll love it. They talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, and they kind of inspired this podcast today because they were asking us about what kept us up at night, what gave us nightmares.
That was like a couple of weeks ago.
It was. It got our brains thinking, and we were like, ooh, we got a lot of nightmares. A lot more than just sauerkraut and what was the other one?
And sardines.
Sardines and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I've known you my entire life, and I've never seen you eat sardines, but I'm just going to let it slide.
That's why I never have had a nightmare.
Oh, that's true. I like it. Just not your good, clean living.
No. and listen to this promo that these gals have because it is great. And while our roadies are breaking down our set, we just wanted to remind you, please subscribe. Please, if you have an opportunity, rate us.
Yes.
Because we love your feedback. The only way we can make Caskets and Cocktails better is with your help. Please help us.
Absolutely. And guys, remember that we will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey guys, it's Ashley
and Chai.
We host Creep It Real. We're a podcast that covers true crime, paranormal, urban legends, conspiracies, and generally everything that keeps you up at night.
We try to cover each case as in-depth as possible with the latest information and even updates on cases when possible. Join us as we delve deep into rabbit holes and stories that are guaranteed to give you goosebumps.
We both love Caskets and Cocktails so much. It is so funny and literally cracks me up constantly. It is so unique as well. I mean, I have never heard of another podcast that has that premise, so great work, guys. We just wanted to share a little fact about us. It is going to be our biggest fear, and I would say that my biggest fear is waking up in the middle of the night to there's a million different legends, but in Japan it's the Taki lady. There's a bunch of different names for it, but somebody like the Ring girl crawling towards me as I lay in bed, and I see her eyes peering over the side of the bed. That is my biggest fear.
Mine would definitely be aliens, and I think you'll come to learn that the more you listen to our podcast.
Oh yeah, we're just a couple of country gals having a good time.
Hot hillbillies.
Anyway, come listen. You can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts, and you can also join us on Instagram at Creep It Real Pod. Also a Facebook group that is private. You can talk about weird stuff without any shame. It's the Creep It Real Podcast Hangout.
We hope to have you join our creepy rank soon.
We'll see you there, guys. Creep It Real.
Oh my goodness. So Killer Trace has a new product, and I am so excited.
Really?
Yes.
What's it about?
It is a product, it's called the True Detective Kit, and it is specifically for parties or meetup events or big groups. I mean, it looks amazing. It's like a giant evidence box, and it has all the stuff you need to throw a crime-minded solving party.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's like, back in the day, people used to do those murder mystery parties.
Yeah, like the butler did it with a candlestick in the library.
Yes, kind of like that, except like for real. I mean, it's not really for real, but it feels like it's for real.
Nobody dies.
I mean, not for real.
That's
not
good.
for real. That's a plus. But I cannot wait to do this with my girlfriend.
Repeat customers.
Yes, that's true. It's a bad idea to kill off your own customers, right? Yeah. Well, you guys go out and check out Killer Trace. Be sure to get your True Detective Kit today and use code CAC2018. That's code CAC2018. We love Killer Trace. I know you guys will too.
Oh, yeah. All you got to do is try it once and you're hooked.
Absolutely.